Welcome to this video. In this video, we will be discussing why evaluation is crucial and how do we do it in Azure AI Foundry. Unlike the traditional application development, in the world of AI, it is all about creating the content that may or may not be correct. So evaluation is crucial. So some of the issues that we may encounter includes fabricated reality. Remember, like LLM can produce the content and may spread misinformation. And incoherence. Sometimes output may be totally irrelevant. Harmful bias. System can produce a content that may be harmful and biased. Security vulnerabilities. When we generate a code, sometimes it may include vulnerabilities. Protected material misuse. LLM might use the copyrighted or protected content without authorization. So you cannot use the traditional evaluation tools to evaluate AI-based application. Azure AI Foundry being integrated environment, it provides a lot of these evaluators for us to make use. So let's move forward. Azure AI Foundry provides a lot of these evaluators under many categories. The first one is the RAG evaluator. Whenever your application make use of a RAG, then these are all some of the evaluators you may be interested in. For instance, the very first retrieval evaluator, it measures how effectively system retrieves the relevant information. For instance, the question is, what are the symptoms of flu? The system retrieves the document on flu symptoms, but just not the general health advice. It's accurate. And let's on to retrieval. It measures the accuracy in retrieval result. For instance, company X Q3 earnings. The system retrieves exact Q3 financial report, just not the general company's overview. Like there are quite a few evaluators that falls under the RAG category. Then we have the agent evaluators. It evaluates agent intent, task adherence, and tool selection. For instance, intent resolution. Let's say we are trying to book a flight to New York next Tuesday. The agent correctly identifies the intent as flight booking with the destination New York and the date it's next Tuesday. So these evaluators will evaluate agent's performance. Then we also have a general purpose evaluators that checks the fluency and coherence. Then we also have a safety and security evaluators that checks violence, sex, self-harm, hate, code vulnerability, and many others. Likewise, we also have few other categories. We can also build our own custom evaluators. Remember, certain evaluators are available only in a specific Azure region. For instance, so say core safety, it's deployed across the regions. However, there are quite a few evaluators considered as advanced evaluators are available only in a specific region. Let's move forward. What is the process of evaluation? First, we need to define the purpose of evaluation. Here, we define if you need to measure the factual accuracy or a bias. So what exactly you are testing it, and process. What data will you use to do the evaluation? Parameter. What resources will it run, whether you run it locally or on the cloud? And analyze. How did you perform? How do you know the results of this? How do you analyze the evaluation result? And improve. So when you run the evaluation, that will show you the performance of your application. Does it really meet your threshold? If not, what needs to improve the result? So let's move forward. Lifecycle has 3 stages. First, base model selection and pre-production evaluation and post-production monitoring. Under base model stage, you should start with a clear requirement. Browse the available models that would meet your requirement, capabilities, and cost. Use the tools like a Foundry benchmark to compare the selected models. Conduct the primarily test using Azure AI evaluation. Choose the model that best balance the performance, cost, and responsible AI considerations for your application. And in pre-production evaluation stage, you prepare the evaluation data, select and configure the appropriate evaluators, run the evaluation, analyze the result. Based on the analysis, refine your model and apply the mitigations. The production stage, integrate Azure AI Foundry observability with Azure Monitor application insight for real-time tracking. Establish metrics to monitor the application performance, quality, and safety. Configure automated alerts for deviations from expected performance or safety threshold. For agent-based applications, enable enhanced continuous evaluation capabilities and implement incidents responsible protocol for a harmful or inappropriate output, and use the insights from production monitoring to perform further model refinement. Let's look into the sample. Assume that I'm building an application that would get the weather details for a specific city. In this case, I will be using three different evaluators. Tool called accuracy that will tell me whether the agent uses the correct tool to get the information, and intent resolution that will tell me whether the LLM agent identify the intent properly, and the task adherence whether it is able to make the call. Task adherence whether the LLM is able to perform the required task to respond back to the user query. Now let's go to the Visual Studio Code and see how do we implement. Implementation has three different phases. Phase number one, it's where like you will be building your application. So now what I'm saying is that there is a user defined function and I'm creating a project client and I'm creating an agent, and then like I'm creating a thread, passing a message, running it. So as you see here till this point, I'm just doing that. I just created an agent and pass the input from the user, get the response back from the agent. It's all about preparing the data. So here what I'm saying is that whatever the thread has been executed and the information that we have, I'm just storing all this information into the file, something like this. So this is what to do. So what you need to do, you need to define these evaluators. As you see here, I'm creating these three evaluators, right, by passing this model configuration, and then like it's all about running these by passing all the evaluators that you have. Now when you run it, you will see a response something like this. The intent resolution, it's 1, like it's 1 out of 1, and then like intent resolution, it's 5 out of 5, right? And then like we also have a task adherence, whether it is able to complete the task. Yes, it does, like it is 1 out of 1. Task adherence, it's 5 out of 5. Then we also have a tool called accuracy, that is again 1 out of 1. So which means that this particular implementation, it's able to handle our requirement without any issues. Understand more on this, you can always go back to the Azure AI Foundry, go to the evaluation and go to the evaluator library. Here like you will see all the available evaluators for you. Then pick up a evaluator that you are interested in. Now if you see here, they have some implementation here. I would say just go to the previous version. Here like you will see how exactly this is implemented. As you see here, there is a very big system prompt, using which they are performing all this task, right? So there is a there behind the scenes they are using a prompting to perform all of these actions, which means that you can build your own custom evaluators pattern. That's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching.